Have you ever wondered what true loneliness looks like? Imagine a scene that will tug at your heartstrings and make you question the depths of human compassion. If loneliness had a face, it might be found at a quiet train station on a winter afternoon. The sky was low and pale, the air heavy with the scent of cold steel and damp concrete. On the far end of platform 3, a black and white dog sat perfectly still. Her ears drooped, her fur tangled and dusted with frost. Every few minutes, a train would thunder past, shaking the ground beneath her paws, but she didn't flinch. She simply stared down the tracks, as if waiting for someone who wasn't coming back. The bustling station seemed to move around her, a stark contrast to her stillness. Commuters hurried by, their eyes briefly meeting the dog's before quickly averting their gaze. The station announcer's voice echoed overhead, a monotonous backdrop to the scene unfolding on the platform. Yet the dog remained motionless, a living statue amidst the chaos of human activity. It was in this moment of quiet desperation that fate intervened. Anna Miller, a young travel photographer with a keen eye for capturing life's hidden stories, stepped off her train. At first, the dog was just another element in the gray landscape of the station. But something about the creature's unwavering presence caught Anna's attention, pulling her gaze towards the lonely figure at the end of the platform. As Anna's eyes locked onto the dog, she felt a sudden tightness in her chest. The world around her seemed to fade away, leaving only the connection between her and this abandoned soul. Anna began to walk towards the dog, her boots crunching on patches of ice that dotted the platform. Each step brought her closer to a moment that would change both their lives forever. When Anna finally reached the dog, she was struck by the lack of reaction. There was no tail wag, no sign of fear or excitement, just a tired emptiness in the animal's dark eyes. It was as if the dog had given up hope of ever being noticed again. Anna's heart broke at the sight, and she knew she couldn't simply walk away. In a gesture of kindness that seemed to defy the cold around them, Anna slipped off her thick coat and gently draped it over the dog's back. "Hey there, sweetheart," she murmured, her voice barely louder than the winter wind that whistled through the station. The softness of her words seemed to hang in the air, a stark contrast to the harsh reality of the abandoned animal before her. For nearly half an hour, Anna sat with the dog, ignoring the curious stares from passing passengers. She spoke softly, offering words of comfort and reassurance, even though she wasn't sure if the dog could understand. As time passed, Anna realized that she couldn't leave this creature to face another night alone in the cold. With a sense of purpose, Anna pulled out her phone and scrolled through her contacts. She remembered David Harper, a local animal rescue volunteer she'd met during a photo assignment a few months back. His passion for helping animals in need had left a lasting impression on her. Now, as she dialed his number, Anna hoped that David would be able to help. The phone rang several times before David's warm voice answered. Anna quickly explained the situation, her words tumbling out in a rush of concern and determination. Without hesitation, David agreed to come to the station, promising to bring supplies and transport for the dog. 15 minutes later, the sound of tires on wet pavement announced David's arrival. His weathered blue van pulled up to the curb, and he stepped out, a soft blanket in his arms. "Let's get her somewhere warm," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of concern and hope. Together, Anna and David approached the dog, speaking in low, soothing tones. The dog hesitated at the edge of the platform, her claws scraping against the icy surface. It was as if she was torn between the familiarity of her lonely vigil and the unknown future that awaited her. But then, in a moment that seemed to stretch on forever, she stepped forward. It was as though she knew deep down that there was nothing left to wait for on this cold, unforgiving platform. As they settled into the van, Anna kept her hand on the blanket covering the dog's shivering body. The warmth of the vehicle began to seep into the air around them. But Anna knew that true healing would take more than just physical comfort. "We should give her a name," she whispered, breaking the silence that had fallen over them. David glanced at Anna in the rearview mirror, his eyes crinkling with a gentle smile. He thought for a moment, considering the significance of this moment. "How about hope?" he suggested, his voice soft but clear. Anna felt a warmth spread through her chest, and she smiled faintly. "Perfect," she replied, looking down at the dog who was now Hope. The drive to the shelter was filled with a mixture of anticipation and concern. Anna couldn't help but wonder about Hope's past. Who had left her at the station and why? But as they pulled up to the shelter, she pushed those thoughts aside. What mattered now was Hope's future and the chance for a new beginning. At the shelter, the staff worked quickly and efficiently. They checked Hope for injuries, their gentle hands moving with practiced care. Matted fur was carefully trimmed away, revealing the true beauty of her coat. Small, gentle meals were prepared, coaxing Hope's appetite back to life. Throughout it all, Anna stayed close, offering words of encouragement and soft touches to reassure the frightened dog. Over the next few days, Hope began to show signs of change. It started small, a slight lift of her tail when Anna entered the room, a curious tilt of her head at the sound of her new name. A week into her stay at the shelter, Hope gave a soft, tentative bark. The sound, though quiet, filled the room with joy. It was as if Hope was finally finding her voice, ready to leave behind the silence of her past. Anna visited every evening, her work schedule arranged to allow for these precious moments. Sometimes she brought an old scarf that still carried her scent, draping it in Hope's bed, so the dog would know she wasn't alone, even when Anna couldn't be there. The shelter staff watched with growing smiles as the bond between woman and dog deepened with each passing day. Finally, after weeks of care and patience, the shelter director approached Anna with news that made her heart soar. "She seems to have chosen you," the director said, her eyes twinkling with understanding. Anna didn't hesitate. That night, with hands that trembled slightly with excitement, she signed the adoption papers. Hope was coming home. The days that followed were filled with new adventures and discoveries. Anna's apartment, once a place she merely slept between assignments, became a home filled with warmth and the sound of paws on hardwood floors. Hope learned to trust again, her personality blossoming under Anna's care. The emptiness that had once haunted her eyes was replaced by a spark of joy and curiosity. Weeks after that fateful day at the train station, Anna and Hope could often be found walking along the snowy tracks near where they first met. But now, the station wasn't a place of abandonment and loneliness. Instead, it had become a symbol of new beginnings, a reminder of the day their lives had intertwined. As they walked, Hope's tail wagged freely, her steps light and playful in the fresh snow. The sound of an approaching train no longer meant loss or waiting in vain. Now it was a reminder that home, true home, was waiting at the other end of their journey together. Anna would smile, watching Hope's ears perk up at the distant rumble of wheels on tracks. In those moments, she knew that sometimes the most beautiful stories begin in the most unexpected places. And so, with each passing day, Anna and Hope continued to write their story together. A story of second chances, of love found in the midst of loneliness, and of the incredible bond that can form between a human and a dog. Their tale served as a reminder to all who heard it that even in our darkest moments, hope can arrive unexpectedly, changing our lives in ways we never could have imagined.